Ray-Pec community, hello. Mike Slagle, your superintendent. Today we have a very special guest. Todd Schnake joins us. Todd is our speech and theater teacher at Ray-Pec High School, a 30-year veteran of this school district, so for a newbie like me, I'm going to pay attention to what Todd tells us today. Todd, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Absolutely. Todd, tell us about your journey to Ray-Pec. 30 years, it started long ago, but tell us about how you got here and what you've seen since.
All right. Well, I graduated from the University of Central Missouri, and the very first district that I worked for was the Raymore Peculiar School District. I've never worked for anyone else other than whenever I student taught.
Yeah.
Whenever I was out looking for a job, and a gentleman named Mike Beam, who's actually still a member of the community, he contacted me. He'd taught at my high school. I went to a small school called Chilhowie, had 10 kids in my graduating class, and Mike had taught there and had left after my sophomore year, but he kind of stayed in touch and had come and seen me in shows and stuff in college. And so he contacted me when he knew I was getting ready to graduate and said, hey, there's a position that's going to be available at our middle school. You should come apply for that. And I just wanted to get a job.
Yeah.
And he talked up the district, talked about what an up-and-coming district it was going to be, and he was right. I mean, Mike's a very smart man. Anyone that knows him, he's a sharp guy. And so I came up and applied, and the interview went well, and they hired me. And so I was here at the middle school, and I taught at the middle school for a couple of years. And then the opportunity opened up for me to move to the high school, and so I followed that passion and moved over to the high school. And my wife, who was a teacher in the Lone Jack School District, she took my position then at Ray-Pec Middle School, and that was kind of a stable setup for a long time. Now she retired here recently, but I'm still hanging in there.
That's awesome. 30 years. So you've seen a lot of change over time here in Ray-Pec. You've also influenced a lot of students over that time, so I thank you for that. That's awesome. Tell me how you go about fostering relationships with kids and some of the things that you remember most about that.
Well, I think that, of course you need to be honest with the kids. It's important to be able to have fun. It's important you do have to maintain a certain amount of professional distance, but that doesn't mean that you can't interact with them in a real authentic way. You asked that question. It reminds me of some advice that I was given as a young teacher. I remember being at the state tournament, and there was this older teacher there, and we were talking. And I'd done some summer stock with him. That was sort of the relationship that we had. And he said, Todd, you just got to figure out, you just got to make the kids want to run through a wall for you, and everything else will take care of itself. Now, I was too young to think through asking him the follow-up question, well, how do you do that? Because that's the trick. Mm-hmm. How do you get them to run through a wall for you? But what I found out over the years is they definitely won't do that unless you're willing to run through a wall for them. Yeah. And if you'll do that, and you'll be honest with them, and you care about them, you can build some really good, strong relationships.
Yeah. That's words that we can all take to heart on that. That's good stuff. Question, we have some parents watching this maybe for the first time thinking speech and theater, what is that all about? Mm-hmm. I know you've been a debate coach before. I know that's called full contact thinking. So,
yeah.
But tell us a little bit about some of those skill sets that kids learn in those classes and those activities that they can take with them long after their high school career.
Yeah. So in the debate, as well as the speech and the theater, I feel like there are a number of different areas in which students benefit. The development of critical thinking skills, the problem-solving skills that come with working in the theater, because we're constantly reinventing, the world that we're playing in. Every show presents new challenges, so there's a lot of creative thinking that's done and a lot of critical thinking as we analyze and look at the literature and the material that we're working on. And of course, there's also a great deal of work done in the area of understanding other people's perspectives. Mm-hmm. And I actually think we could use more of that in the world today. If we could take a few moments to say, what would it be like to be in that person's situation? I think we would be a little more understanding, and we'd probably be able to get a little more done as far as some of our our elected leaders and things. I think also then there's the very important communication piece. Over the years I've had, we have students that go in and they interview for different things, SLT and things like that, and I often get feedback from other teachers that the students that have done my activity and work in my activity really just knock that out of the park. Right. And so, while on one hand I'm interested in helping kids be the best actor they can or the best public speaker they can, I also understand that most of them may not go on to be a professional actor, but that the skills that they're going to learn, the creativity, the critical thinking, and the communication skills are going to equip them to be successful in whatever it is that they go into. But that's a conversation we always have at the beginning of my classes. Why are you in this class? Why do you need this class? And when you look at it, your ability, say you're a business person, if you're able to get up and give an effective presentation, you're more likely to get a promotion.
Right.
You have a life skill that's going to enable you to be more likely to be successful.
Yeah, an incredible value add for our kids when they exit high school. Excellent. As you know, we have just embarked on a bond election campaign. Part of that bond election campaign is a new performing arts center. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about the current PAC and what a new PAC might hold for you, your program, and for opportunities for kids.
I have interesting feelings about our current PAC because I've spent my professional life in it, and so I love it because it's home.
Yeah.
And yet I'm also very aware of some of its limitations, right. Which are significant. And I will tell you that the theater program, as well as the other performing arts programs at Ray-Pec, the choir and the band, are strong and thriving programs. And those kids, we all work very, very hard. And we want to have the most up-to-date opportunities to work with our kids and facilities that suit the caliber of the programs that we're working with. And so having better facilities enables students to explore those creative opportunities more completely. And it also provides a better experience for our public whenever they come in to see the work that all of us are doing. So it impacts a lot of kids because between those three programs I just mentioned, you're talking about hundreds of students that would gain benefit from that facility.
Yeah, and that's one thing. As I came on board, it was said time and again that the community is ready for a new PAC, something that we want to give our kids because of the learning opportunities that we don't have currently in our existing PAC, even though it's home.
Right, it's home,
yeah.
But yeah, as a theater person, really our PAC is a lecture hall. And we don't have wing space, we don't have a fly system. I could drive down the road to Belton and I could see a much more complete facility that those students get to work in that our students don't get to. And so our students that do pursue the performing arts and technical theater opportunities beyond high school would be their opportunity and their learning would be greatly enhanced by having stronger facilities to work in.
Absolutely, totally agree. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
30 years of influencing lives here in Ray-Pec. You need to be very proud of that.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Ray-Pec community, Todd Schnake, 30-year teacher here in the Ray-Pec School District in speech and theater. That's an outstanding career. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another outstanding guest. Until then, we'll see you soon. Thank you.